in them are things like cat's bronze lotus root. There's some 𝚆𝚘𝚝𝚜 𝙸𝚗 as well. And then there's sesame seeds under that sheath of silicone.
There's sesame seeds in it.
Yeah, there's some sesame seeds. You know, I've been like reading about how seeds inherit memories. And my own grandmother was a seed keeper. She had a grain shop in Seoul after she settled in South Korea after leaving North Korea. So was thinking about these different forms of inheritance and memory, or things that hold memories.
And these were the same mats that you used for your documentation of your 38th birthday when you were...
Yeah, so in that series of photographs, which is called Fleshing Out the Ghost, for 38 minutes, I moved between states of lying down and standing up on one of the mattresses in process in my studio. A lot of the work in the show around me in process. It was, my body moving between states of horizontality and verticality over and over again. And there were 96 photos in total, and so those are kind of, that ritual is, now embedded in me and kind of enacted in me in its own way, and it also ended up infusing these works as well.
I would like to ask you about, let me find this image that's coming up. This is really exciting. This is this plastic that you're using here. It's folded and sealed here, but this end, it sort of feels like not so much pulling away as it's like reaching towards something. Can you please talk about this?
Yeah, that's a mattress that's wrapped in silicone. I too liked that it wasn't, as this sheath that is like covering, containing it, there's this area that, is also resisting that like clean, folded form. I thought of it as this kind of tail, and in both shows I wanted that like kind of the reveal of the tail as the body moves through it as an important part, where you maybe see that first before you see other things. And within there, inside of there is the mattress and the photographs, but there's also the drawing and a 𝚆𝚘𝚝𝚜 cabbage leaf. I don't know, I think this one, more than the others, always made me feel like it feels like an altar, but it also feels like a grave, in a sense, like, a tombstone. This one reminds me of death more than the others.
Can you please say more about that?
Yeah, the mattresses came in as this form of a vessel. They're a holder for a body without a body being present. And the mattress is also, the tatami importantly is this, it implies a kind of portability or modularity, as the film does, as the architecture does. Everything has this kind of sense that it could be, put up, taken down, act, and then unfurl again. You can kind of see how things would be stowed away, which I think is also a kind of regurgitated inheritance that I carry in my own kind of, material attractions or formal attractions as an artist. And the tatami has these layers, I talked about sediment earlier, that remind me of sediment or strata. And my own grandmother apparently slept at her grain shop because she worked there so much. So I was initially looking at these traditional Korean mattresses, but became more drawn to this as a form. And then, also given the very complicated history between Korea and Japan, and my own interest in not finding a state of like arrival or trueness, it felt more within what excites me to bring in a traditional Japanese object into the space of this show. And then, you know, going back to the mattress, I was thinking about the body in states of horizontality. You know, what happens in states of dreaming. You know, there's communications that happen, there's messages that are downloaded, our cells are regenerated, so there's also cellular death. But then the body in states of horizontality and death as well. But always as it's kind of like, you know, I don't make these things knowing what's gonna happen, so like I'm kind of thinking about it out loud as we're looking at this image. I'm like, I guess to me it feels very much so